from Southern California's largest paint and sip studio. Spotlight with Purple Easel.
Welcome to another episode of Purple Easel Spotlight, where we put the spotlight on artists and creatives. My name's Latoya.
And I'm Megan.
And we're both art instructors here at Purple Easel. And we're going to have a very special episode for you today because Megan has no idea what we're talking about. I left her in the dark for good reasons.
I'm in the blind.
Yes, it'll be fun though. But before we get to the episode, you got some news for us, Megan?
I do have some news. Mm-hmm. So apparently there is a new museum/exhibition situation of Banksy's work in New York City.
Oh, okay.
That has nothing to do with Banksy.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently somebody who's collected some of his work has decided to create like the outdoors indoors and create a whole like labyrinth of fake walls and everything with reproductions of his work up.
Okay.
So everybody can see it in one place and maintained and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but without any of Banksy's permission or involvement.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's my initial response. But I was reading the article and I felt very much like a Libra. I'm like, okay, I kind of get that side. It's like watching a tennis match. I'm like, good point. Good point. Good point. And I'm just like, I don't know what to think at this point because it's so involved.
Okay. Well, what did Banksy say? Did he say anything?
Nothing. They couldn't get comment from him.
Oh.
So the guy who put it all together has this quote. Banksy changed the rules. If you want to organize something about Banksy, you have to change the rules also. Which...
Okay.
Okay, that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Like I kind of,
Okay.
But then a legal expert comes back and says, like, there are tons of replicas of the Mona Lisa, and that's not preserving the original. I would argue the same for Banksy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then went on to further explain that he automatically had a copyright when he created this artwork. The fact that he doesn't like copyright doesn't really make a difference. And there's even like a part in the stairwell, I guess, where he put copyright is for losers or whatever. And he's gone on record saying like he doesn't really believe in copyright. His whole thing is he wants his art to be available to the masses, which is completely undercut when you charge $30 for people to come in and see it.
You know, okay, interesting. I actually think that Banksy, I don't think Banksy's gonna care.
Right. It's kind of that like, okay, he's so different than normal artists anyway that maybe he's just like, yeah, go for it. Good for you. I mean, he has expressed that he doesn't like people making money off of his stuff.
Okay. But he's not making, well, is he no?
And he's charging for tickets.
Oh, okay. This is like a weird.
It's so right. Exactly. Like I kept toggling back and forth. I'm like, I don't know what to feel.
Yeah. No.
Like I get it. It's his work. It shouldn't just be reproduced whatever, but like at the same time, most people are not going to get to see this stuff.
That's true.
Because they're not that wherever it is, you know. But it also kind of takes away some of the context of, you know, where he creates these pieces. Mm-hmm. Granted, there's some that never see the light of day because the city just comes in and removes it or it gets painted over before anybody even knows it exists. And
this is definitely a gray area.
It's because it's Banksy. Yeah. If it was anybody else, you'd be like, yeah. But because of how he is already, and there was a line in the article saying like, well, he's not going to sue because it would give up his anonymity, which also true. But also does that make it okay? Like, it's just so...
Oh, that's so strange. I'd like to think that Banksy is like, okay...
Right. He's like, I break the rules. Like they described him as a pirate, and I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, I never thought of that, but yeah, he kind of is a pirate.
Dude, no, that's so true.
Skirting on the outside of the law a little bit.
You know the craziest thing about your news is that it very much ties into my episode. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
How serendipitous.
Right? Wow.
Well, let's do it.
All right.
I'm excited.
So today's episode, I wanted to talk about artificial intelligence, creativity, commerce, and legalities that shape artistic world.
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Man.
So art has always been a profound expression of human creativity, but in today's world, it's also big business. From the paintings that fetch millions of auctions to the music streaming on your favorite platform, art is not just created for beauty or expression. It's a commodity, a livelihood, and sometimes a legal battlefield.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about on our list is Aitana Lopez. So she's a digital creator at Barcelona's ad agency, The Clueless. She's a gamer at heart and a fitness lover. She makes $11,000 a month in brand deals. So here she is, and then we also have another picture of her with like Fortnite. So we'll show that. Do you see anything strange about these pictures at all, Megan?
I mean,
this pretty regular schmegular?
I mean, yeah, there's a pink theme going throughout. I mean, with her pink hair and then some pink accents, but it feels kind of cosplay-y or influencer-y.
Yes, and that's what it is. And here's the kicker. She is not real.
Oh, Jeebus.
She is not a real human being. And the craziest thing is that, so they created her with the pink hair because they wanted her to be like a cosplayer and a gamer. So you got that. Fitness model, she's hot, got it. But they also don't have her smiling too much because they want her to be like mysterious and kind of like, so they really, really branded her. So the Clueless agency said Aitana, and it's Aitana, is thoughtful, long-lasting models that beautifully represent diverse personalities. We did it so we couldn't be dependent on other people who have big egos, who have manias, or who just want to make a lot of money by posing. So they were running into these models that were not showing up on time,
They just bypassed all of it.
Yeah, by making a complete person. And I wanted to know how you felt about this.
Okay, so my first, thought is going to other things, but normally it's like a cartoon character, mascot situation, like
Tony the Tiger. Or whatever.
Trix Rabbit. I mean, it's a thing people have been doing for branding for forever. It feels a little weird because it's a human, very lifelike human, could actually exist somewhere, and I feel bad that somebody could be making money. It gives them a lot of control.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, now I'm like,
yeah, I know. That's kind of how I felt about the whole research that I was doing, because I'm like, okay, I get it. You have to make money, and if these people are unreliable,
from a business standpoint,
yes, from
100% get it. I just get it.
Yes, and in most cases, I was like, from a business standpoint, yes. From an artistic person standpoint, not so much sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. If you would have saw her on a can of Coca-Cola, because you know how sometimes they'll put the Olympians and stuff on whatever, we would just be walking around not knowing.
Difference. Yeah. I mean, I'm not very good at catching AI art anyway because I don't look super close most of the time. Sometimes it's obvious, but I mean, whatever. I'm not an expert in that. A lot of people can pick it apart and see all the things. I'm sure you can because your graphic background.
That, and it's funny that you say that because we're going to do a little fun thing.
Oh, boy. Is this something for me to fail very terribly?
We won't know. We'll see when we get there. So next up, I want to talk about is music. So by now, we've all heard about the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef,
I got the lowdown from Eden.
Yes. Same? Same. Well, Drake almost found himself in a legal battle with Tupac's estate because Drake made a diss track that had AI-generated Tupac Shakur's voice in it.
Really?
Yes. A cease and desist letter was sent to Drake threatening legal action if he didn't remove the song from public platforms. But this makes me think about how we've been immortalizing art for so long. It's like art is pretty much timeless because you can just keep creating it eternally.
Yeah.
In a way. So yeah, the AI voices. And I know for a fact that there's been like 2 voice actors are suing like a company for similar things to where they're using their voice not to where it's intended to. It's now just being everywhere. And they're like, hey, we did this for this company and now you guys are taking our voice and
Right, just reusing it at will, which that's when the writers, actors strike situation was going on, like that's not okay. Like you don't get to own somebody in perpetuity. Like that's not, you pay for the gig.
Yeah.
But I just read an article where, there was a update to Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And apparently you could change the voices.
Yes.
One of them was suspiciously just like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And she was mad. She's like, I didn't approve this. They came to me and asked me, and I was like, no, thank you. And then they hire somebody who sounds just like her, supposedly. And then, like, not only that, but like, there was some back and forth, like Twitter stuff between her and like the Chat GPT people. And like, it was just a whole thing. And then they finally were like, okay, fine, we'll get rid of it. And now it's gone. You can't have ScarJo on your Chat GPT.
That's the craziest thing is I feel like the more and more we live, the more we're going to come up with these sort of like creative fields and AI kind of situations, like your personality, your likeness, your voice and all sorts of stuff. You know, what's interesting is I'm not sure if it's this same diss track, but they also did Snoop Dogg's voice. But Snoop Dogg actually, it kind of reminds me of our conversation with Banksy because Banksy, I think, is probably going to be like, eh. So they did this diss track and they used Snoop Dogg's voice. And Snoop Dogg was like, eh. He kind of made a joke.
Snoop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That
Classic
checks
Snoop
out.
Dogg.
Yeah.
He was just like, sure, okay. Like he made a joke about it. He was very like, So, and it depends on the person. Some people are very much like, no, this is my stuff. My fiance is very much like, no, this is my stuff. Other people, probably like me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends.
It's not right. It's not really going to take anything from me because it's not like I'm some famous person, right? So maybe that has some level of like feeding into your line of thought. But man, it's such a tangled mess. It really is. There's so many nuances. It's hard to just draw a straight line through the sand. It's such a gray area.
Sure is. Moving on to the next one is Magic the Gathering. Actually, it's Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast, which I like to call Wizards of Waverly Place. Was in hot water last year over their AI-generated photo marketing for Magic the Gathering. They claimed it wasn't AI-generated, but the fans were like, no, it's 1000% is. And they're like, no, it's not. And the fans are like, yes, it is. And then Wizards are like, okay. Like we had little AI robot hands into it.
Oh, boy.
And it's strange because Magic is known for hiring, or like the Wizards, they're known for hiring artists. Like that's their thing, So there's a lot. I guess they've picked apart some of these things, but the craziest thing is I can't say who exactly got let go, but I know last year, like 1,100 like employees did get let go last year from Wizards. So people are like, hey, you're letting go people, but then you using AI art when you're super known for having like artists. This is one of those instances which is a little bit more clear to me.
Yeah, if you've built a reputation on it and then suddenly you're kind of doing a bait and switch, like that's messed up.
Yeah. That's how it very much feels. So I just wanted to include this picture because, classic, just good old Magic the Gathering, just an artist. His name is Jason Rainville. So yeah, they could have done something. I would have actually preferred to see something more like this.
Yeah.
The other one actually just feels too photoshopped to me.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, AI can only take from what's out there, and kind of compile it together. Now, as a fantasy artist, I can see it being extra challenging because you're having to create worlds that don't exist. So you can't use references in the sense that a traditional artist could. In that situation, I could see prompting AI to help give you a starting point.
Yeah.
And then manipulating it and copying parts of it or whatever to get to what you're trying to do. But
Yeah. And so I'm not against using AI because, we've talked about this before. You can use it for your references and stuff like that. And it does help in a pinch. But yeah, it's just, we just got to regulate it. And it's going to be hard though. Too.
Yeah. I noticed on Instagram when I recently posted a reel that it had a little toggle for this was AI or AI assisted artwork or whatever. I thought, oh, that's new. Hadn't seen that before. So that's cool that they at least put that there, but I don't know how many people are actually going to use it.
Yeah. No, I thought the same because I think when you go on Facebook also, well, it's a meta, so it's all the same. I've seen that same thing where it's like, do you want to use AI or like AI assisted? Like, do you want to? I'm like, no, but I'm like, who's using that? I wonder who is actually.
Right, exactly. Okay, what else we got?
Next, we have, is it real or is it AI? Let's play a game and quiz Megan on what you think is real or AI. These are going to be pretty clear, I think, in the beginning. It gets a little bit hard as we go on.
You say that, and I'm probably going to botch this whole thing.
Okay, we'll see. All right, first image. Is it the left one or the right one that is AI generated?
I initially want to say that the left one is AI, but I think it's the right because the photo quality during his presidency would have been good enough.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. You are correct. We can move on to the next image.
Oh, gosh.
All right. AI generated left or right?
Right.
Ooh. Ding, ding, ding.
Her face proportions are a little not quite.
This is where I feel like it just looks like Photoshopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Coming up next image. So a little bit tougher possibly. Left or right?
Left.
Is that your final
left
answer?
Looks better. Like it's more appetizing and a prettier picture, but like I don't. Okay,
wrong. It's the one.
It is the real food. Okay, the other one looks kind of more homey.
So when I was looking at this, the food itself, you got to catch the other sometimes things because although both of the foods look good, and I thought the same, I was like, okay, I can't tell. So I had to look at the surrounding areas. The one on the right, way too smooth. Way too smooth.
I suppose.
Of a table.
Yeah. Well, I think that like shadowing and the highlights are actually pretty good though.
Yeah, they're good. It just felt too good.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
All right, we're going to go on to the next image. Which one is AI generated? The one on the left or right?
The left.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yay.
Yes. All right, next one. This one was a little hard for me, but then when I found out which one, I was like, oh, I'm stupid. All right, is it the one on the left or the one on the right?
The left, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because that is his actual sunflower painting, right?
I got tricked, yes, because I was like, that's where something looks too good.
Right.
Where I was like, this looks too good. And then I was like, oh, they generated those actual bumps on it. And then when I looked at the one on the left, I'm like, oh, we couldn't get that. I don't know if we could get that blue. Because blue was very back in the days.
Yeah. Expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit too high quality blue. All right. Next image. Which one is AI generated?
The right.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct.
Yay. Yeah, it looks like some of the flowers are They look flatter.
On the right?
Yeah. Like there's not as much shadow and depth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt about it. The left one just, and then sometimes what I do is I just go with my gut feeling. Like as a human, I'm like, what do I feel? Usually my feelings are normally right, but I felt like the one, it just felt more painterly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, next one, a little bit harder. Which one is AI generated, left or right?
Oh, the right. He's like leaning on nothing.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Honestly, I didn't even know that. I had to look at everything else.
I was like, okay, that would be really tricksy if the reflection one was AI, because it's kind of hiding behind all of the obscurity of the reflection. But also, then I just noticed he was floating on nothingness. So
I thought he was like leaning on something and I just couldn't see because it looks like he was.
Well, I feel like, yeah, right? Like it could be his chest, but he would be hunching over it more.
No, you're right. You're completely right. Yeah. All right. Which one is AI generated?
The left.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes. It's just a little creepy.
Too blurry, too... Yeah, it's not just a photo that's out of focus. It's just...
There's just something not human about it. I feel
it's like the pretending of a photo that's out of focus. I don't know.
Pretending of a photo. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if even with the movement, I would still be able to tell that child is real. I don't know. All right, next one.
Oh, boy.
Which one is real? Which one is fake?
I think the left is fake.
Ding, 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 ding.
That trunk looks like it's connected to his leg, but I don't know if that's just
no, that's
the positioning or...
No, because it's weird. All the trees are straight, but that last one is a little sus, and the leg is also sus.
Right. It kind of just blends together. Sometimes you just get a weird angle, and that can happen in real life, but the other one just looks more real, like the dog, the lighting, everything.
I like the perspective.
I do too.
Nice painting.
Like, let's go hiking.
Yeah. All right, next one. Which one is real and which one is fake?
I think the right is probably the fake one.
Final answer?
Sure.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's not as crisp.
Yeah.
But it could be a painting. Like it really could. Somebody could do that blocky kind of limited color palette.
It reminded me of the artist. I can't think of his name right now, but we literally covered him. And
yes. Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I thought of. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And
that was rough.
You only got one wrong.
It was hard though.
Okay.
It was hard to my untrained eye. My AI eye. I was helpful though. Now I've learned some things to kind of look for. Yeah. Maybe our viewers are feeling the same. I want to know in the comments, like, how did you do? Did you get them all? Because that was tough. Good job.
Thank you. I thought it'd be kind of funny. You see why?
Yeah. I get the surprise episode. I'm here for it.
All right. And so this next artist, you're actually going to love this. I loved it so much. We might have to just go to Instagram to look at so cool. Okay, so next artist, her Instagram @ is Liminal Destinations. Her name is Abigail. She's 24 from the UK, and she makes AI luxury vintage interiors via Midjourney, and these are all 80s. Interior luxury, and they're so good. Okay, so this first collection is 1980s chocolate brown retro home interior. Ooh,
it's so brown.
It is so good. I just wanted to be in these images. They're so clean. And
it's so shiny. Look at how shiny those cabinets are.
Yes. And that's one thing I really liked about a lot of her creations is the light. I don't know what prompts you got to put in here, but the lighting on all of them are so clean. And this just looks so
is she just putting in a very specific prompt and this is what it generates, or is she manipulating it?
So I don't know how Midjourney works exactly. My assumption is that it's prompt.
Okay.
prompts.
Yeah, I think I've heard similar.
So
You just put things in.
there's that. And the one thing I like about this, and we can move on to the next image, is that, when you were a kid, you think that what is luxurious now is what you strive for that.
Yeah.
So it's nostalgic in a way that's where I'm like, this is what I wanted to live in.
Yeah.
Because that's what was rich to me in the 80s and 90s.
You know why? Because in the 80s, we were surrounded by knickknacks, which is why a lot of us swung to that minimalist style. But this is a little bit cleaner. This is more like you have a maid who comes in and cleans for you. So there's not a lot of clutter.
Exactly.
Your floors are shiny. Wow.
So nice. And the thing is, it looks so real. It looks like these are real.
Yeah, I got them a magazine.
Exactly.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I know. I want to be in that bed so bad. It's just so cool. And I'm not like the biggest AI art, but when I was looking at these, I'm like, oh no, I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah,
watching, looking at.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of art, right? Is to elicit a response. We're responding. Although I will say, I caught something.
Ooh.
The lamp on that side is kind of squished compared to the one on this side.
Okay, I didn't even catch that. Nice.
Who's become the master now?
Right? So these next two images are 1980s private yacht. And the lighting, I don't know, the lighting is just look at that.
It's the shinies. It's all the little shinies.
Yeah.
And the reflections.
It looks like a big giant ashtray.
I know, right?
But the rich would be like,
I thought my parents were so cool. They had an ashtray on a stand. And it was a little bit of a bowl at the top. And then you put your ash in or whatever, but there was a button and you push it and it goes down into the bowl to clear out your ashes.
Fancy.
And then you would have to empty the bowl every once in a while. But it just stood there in between their chairs or wherever they would smoke. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
No, I would too. I've never seen anything like that. The coolest ashtray I've seen were back in the days when you had in the car, you would just click the top out. That was it. So this is another yacht, but it's just more homely.
See, now this pattern, this screams 80s to me. This tropical.
It makes me think of the episode we did last week.
Yeah, with all the fabrics, the vintage fabrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh, I love this one. Early 1980s cityscape apartment.
I mean,
look at the green.
Books and the green. Yeah, so if I ever got a chance to have a library with a rolling ladder, it would be in green tones because there's something so rich about that color
dark green.
Yeah. Deep dark green.
It does give luxury. I know, right?
I just want to take a nap on that couch.
How do they make the couch look so good?
I don't know.
That's okay. So I've heard.
Why is this so good and all the other AI is just
well, that's was going to be my
she's
question.
Got to be doing something.
Exactly. So I can't say because I haven't used AI, but some people are the prompts, the way you word them is an art form in itself. And when I hear that, I'm like, yeah. I mean,
it's like searching on
but
Google.
At the same time, yes, there's a truth to that, though.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is the wordings just so the bomb.com? Oh, I'm so old by saying that.
You just really dated yourself. But no, there was a point where in school we learned about the proper way to use a search engine.
That's true.
You could say minus and it would eliminate results with that word in it and stuff like that. And most people don't know about any of that because we're so used to the advanced search engines that kind of just find what you need.
Yeah, that's
easily.
true. Because when I Google something what happens when you, I probably don't even need to put what happens when you.
No, you don't. But
I'm just I'm talking to a person.
Yeah, it's Ask Jeeves. We're so old, Toya.
Not Ask Jeeves. No. Ooh, look at all that liquor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're just getting me on all this green velvet right now. I'm just here for it. It doesn't even matter what it is.
Yeah.
But it also matches the plants so perfectly. I love it.
So schwanky. And this last one is 1980s
Red wine room.
Yes. Sorry, it scrolled so fast.
Yes.
Yes.
Our very excited
Yes, red wine
scroller
luxury
back there.
rooms. Once again, okay, so one thing I liked about this one, I feel like we can't quite see it on the screen, but this had like a little bit of a grainy magazine.
Really? Okay.
Look, yeah, you can
kind of see it.
It's got like a little grain fuzz magazine, which is also another element that makes it look realistic.
Yeah, like it could have literally been an image from then. I love this like shiny wall and velvet. Like that. Why is there so much velvet? First of all,
well, I guess it's luxury.
I love it. But like, it's the contrast of the really sleek, modern, and then like that touch of comfort.
Yes, and so if you go to the Instagram, you could list for hours because they're all so good. They're so like themed, or they're all so like the color choices are so good. They're not bad color choices.
I mean, it's got to make me wonder, like, how long does she spend? Like, it generates a thing and she's like, no, not quite right. It needs to be this color or whatever. And can she manipulate that by typing something else in? Like, I have so many questions.
Yeah, kind of. I should have done more research.
No,
but I also
it's all good.
Well, no, and the fact that, but I also don't. I'm not cool with AI like that just yet, so
Right,
that's
right.
why I haven't.
No, I
gone
get
on
it.
the journey.
And this is where most people are at.
Yeah,
where we're at right now. I mean, there are the people who use it and know. Maybe someone will stumble across and give us
Tell
the
us.
what's up.
Yeah.
But for the average viewer, I mean, here we are.
This one I liked. There was something a little odd about the reflection. I don't know why.
Yeah, so it's like a totally different color, but it's only the lamp that's reflecting. Well, I guess the tree bush situation is kind of reflecting too.
And I'm also like, is it so dark to where? Is it a is it a window or a wall? Is it a window?
I read it as a window, but it might be a wall. I don't know. Trixie.
That concludes the episode. I actually had more, but I didn't want to keep talking.
Wow. I mean,
I was like, I can make a part 2 of this. I had so much
my
information.
news fit in perfectly. It really
sure
did. It really jump-started our whole conversation on the AIs.
And the legalities and the
blurry grayness of it all.
So,
Man.
yes, please let us know if you use Midjourney. Let us know if you scored great or not so great on the AI quiz. We would love to know.
And the opinions. Like, what's your hot take? 'Cause
Exactly.
This is like the topic right now. It has come up on multiple episodes in some form or another. Something that we continue to talk about and will be continuing to talk about as it evolves.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're here with the robots already, and there's nothing we can do about it. You have to just accept it. And at this point, I feel, because in the very, very beginning of it, I was like, but I'm like, I've used ChatGPT numerous times.
Yeah, I still haven't gone there.
Okay.
It's fine. I leave that to you.
Okay.
It's all good. I barely just joined Reddit, so like I've been holding off because I just don't want to get sucked in.
Yeah, not fair. But yeah, it's not going anywhere. Let us know how you feel, and I'm sure we're going to keep talking about this.
Yeah.
And,
wow, that concludes a very exciting surprise episode of Spotlight today. And man, boy, did we spotlight.
we sure did. And it was a little bit nostalgic also.
It was kind of that collective nostalgia. It really flows nicely from last week's episode. So if you haven't watched that yet, you definitely should, because there's some value.
Yeah. And nostalgia in the fact that if you were a certain age, if you were like a Gen, what is it? Gen Z, it might not be so nostalgic for you.
Yeah. They don't know what nostalgia is yet.
I know
They haven't lived long enough.
Nope. They'll be like, man, do you remember when we had iPads when we were kids?
They'll never understand the dial-up sounds.
Or the printer,
Oh my gosh. When I worked at Hollywood Video, and it was outdated at that point, but we had dot matrix printers for our receipts with like the holes on the side, and you had to rip off the, Yeah.
Back in the day.
So old. So old.
Well, that concludes our episode. And make sure to follow our artists too, the Liminal Destinations, and check it out. Scroll mindlessly on that. And yeah, let us know what you think about everything.
Yeah. And in the meantime, create more and create often.
Bye.